Se ei Tigeri siihen lamppuun.
And we're back. Sorry for that delay. Experienced the same exact problem earlier today with the FPO lead card action. For some reason, that particular part of the course is being extremely unfriendly with our connection. So I'm hoping to have you all join us very soon again as we're moving on to hole number 13, which is also hole number 13 at the regular layout of the Ford Disc Golf Park here in Tuusula, Finland. In our absence, the players just out on hole 12, where Simon Lizotte shot a par 4. Eagle McMahon took a birdie with a very nice looking putt from between those bushes. So he scored a birdie 3 there on hole 12. Samuel Hänninen was able to capitalize on his par after that errant tee shot for his par 4 on that hole. And Mäkelä shot a birdie 3 to climb a step or 2 at the leaderboards, which of course you can check at hewlettdisclive.com to follow the action not only of our lead card, also of our chase card. We are taking the wooded pathway to move to the tee pad of hole number 13 here at Ford Disc Golf Park. Hole number 13 is a 94-meter par 3 where the ideal play is a sweeping hyzer from the tee through that gate marked with a Ford logo so that the disc keeps moving forward and left for the entire duration of that 94-meter flight in order. So it is a sweeping hyzer shot of 94, preferably from hugging as close as possible to the left side of that gate. Mäkelä first on the tee. Shot is just a bit high and he hits the banner and falls just below those steps. Eagle next. Eagle throws the ideal. He should be very close to the basket now. Simon hugs the further right one. He ends up short. And Samuel last on the box. Samuel's shot is looking really good. It should be also long enough. So he is probably the closest to the bib pin, as you can also maybe hear from the claps of the gallery. The gallery approves of that last shot. Väinö throws his second shot underneath these steps. He still has about to reach. He opts to go from roller. We'll see where that landed. It was very difficult to see from down here. But the crowd was clapping, so maybe some good things were happening with that shot. But we will just have to wait and see. Simon is up next. He was short after that tree kick, so he is about 30 meters away from the pin. The basket is just behind those clumps of 4 guardian trees. He goes with an Anheuser putt, almost hits the basket, but is parked with 1 meter to go for his par. Eagle is next up to putt from just outside circle 2, maybe 25 meters or so. Almost just low and right, but a very good bid from that distance. It seems Väinö's roller ended up in that trench on the left side of the fairway. He has also about a 25-meter putt ahead of him from inside that trench, but there should be an open line. Oh, he hits the cage, almost putting it in. That was a good bid. Now grab up your drinks, because I'm gonna say now, unfortunately, he just could not capitalize on that one. Oh, Samuel chains out and has to settle for a par only. Eagle takes a par, Simon takes a par, and Väinö has to settle for a bogey 4 here on hole 13. We're continuing our way with only a few more holes to play. 5, I'm not completely off, and going soft in the head currently. Hole number 14 is a long 135-meter par 3 here in these woods, where the players are looking to throw their shot straight forward, slightly uphill, and the basket is located on top of a hill that is guarded on the right and left sides with these small grippy trees. There is more space on the right side, short of the basket. And there is also some space on the left side, short, but that is so short that the players will still have to contend with about 35 meters of distance between them and the basket if they trail to the left. The safe shot on this hole is to just throw it straight, directly at the basket, hopefully without too much sideways movement, and then land softly to avoid those skips. About a 120 meter straight shot should give these players a fair opportunity to fire in their birdie putts. Simon is up next on the tee. The gallery is slowly lining up not only behind us, and the gallery is still huge, but also the people are lining up behind the basket as well. The spotter is giving the go sign, and Eagle is next up on the tee. Eagle throws it low and left, gets a kick into the trees. He's about 5 meters on the left side of the fairway between those birches. Simon is up next. Simon throws it down the gut. He's trailing towards the right. He hits a birch on the right side of the fairway, gets a kick left, and he is about 40 meters away from the basket, but in the open. Samuel up next. Samuel throws it down the gut as well. This one does not trail right as much as Simon's did. It hits those top branches of that pine tree, but fights through and is in the middle of the fairway with about 30 meters to go. Väinö fires one in. It's very, very hard and very, very fast. It's fading in slightly too early towards the left side. So Väinö is now just long of that safe zone on the left, which means that he's unable to see the basket from where he is because of those birch trees on the left side of the fairway. So it'll be interesting to see what these players are up to next. Eagle, furthest away from the pin, is taking his shot from the left side of the fairway. Eagle looks to be lining up a sidearm shot of some kind. Possibly even a sidearm roller. Yep, he does throw the sidearm roller indeed. It clips a tree, which turns the angle a little bit too much, and therefore he cuts to the left slightly too early. He is right there next to Väinö currently. Simon up next with about, I would say, 50 meters. Simon throws a flex sidearm shot. Ooh, he just misses the basket from the right side and gets a little skip long. He should still be inside the circle behind those trees. I'm guessing he has about 8 meters or so to go. It's nice to see this camaraderie from the players in front of us. High-fiving and fist bumping each other. So Väinö is up next. From between those trees, he can see the basket, but the line is obstructed. He attempts a hyzer putt through the trees. He hits the last guardians, gets rolled back to just circle's edge. So he will be looking at a 10-meter putt for his par 3. Samuel. Samuel puts in a good bid, just misses it slightly on the right side. That was a nice effort on this long, tight hole number 14 here at Ford Disc Golf Park. Eagle's third shot from 20 meters away. puts in from about 20 meters, just going short left, and he has a 2-meter tap in for his bogey 4. Liner for par from just inside the circle. He cans it in. Nice looking putt for his par 3. Excuse me, the cough. The air here is extremely dry and the sand is coming up and is causing little tickles in the throat. Simon is looking at his lie. Trying to figure out a footing from which to try his putt. He is also at circle's edge, but on the far side of the basket, pinched between those small trees. He attempts a hyzer putt, hits the top band, rolls it to 2 meters away from the basket. Eagle taps in for his bogey 4. Samuel taps in for what I believe was his par 3. Simon taps in for what I believe was a bogey 4. So there's a small swing in the scores after hole 14 as we begin our movement towards the tee pad of hole number 15, which is a 102-meter hole that is trailing from left to right, where the real actual danger is on the right side, because if you're going too tight, hugging the right side of this fairway, there is a very good chance of finding yourself pinched behind the trees on the right side. The basket is forward and right at the end of that clearing, I would call it, about 20 meters right from where the gallery is currently standing. The gallery is lining up to watch these players continue the battle here at Ford Disc Golf Park. There are a lot of options that these players can use here, so it'll be exciting to see what they're going to come up with. I'm standing right behind the tee pad now, waiting to get the go-ahead sign from the spotters, and then we will have Samuel first on the box. A sidearm from Samuel, which seems to drift a little bit too much to the left. A little bit too much to the left, and apparently penetrates a little deep into those woods and the gallery that was there. So now that we have moved the gallery to the right side, it seems Mäkelä is up on the box next. Liner chooses to go with an Anheuser line that's looking perfect. He should be parked with that line. That is the line you're trying to take on this hole. Seems Eagle is up next. Eagle goes wide sidearm. He has so much power. He just clips those branches that steal away the speed of that disc, and he falls down just to the left side of the fairway, pin high, but about 30 away. Simon goes with a high anhyzer, but that is also slightly wide. It needs to dodge those trees, and it does. Stables out to the left. He's in the clear, but he still has, I would say, something like 20 or so meters to the pin from where Simon's disc landed. Remember that you can still check out the play-by-play scoring and also the scoreboard, leaderboard of not only this leader card but also the chase card and the other cards by going to udisclive.com and check out the action there. Thank you to UDisc, and especially thank you to all of the volunteers doing the scoring for us here at Tyyni 2019. Samuel is up next for his second shot. He throws a good bit, but just not enough juice behind that one, so he drifts low left. Eagle lays up next to the basket. Simon is just outside circle 1. He's taking an 11-meter putt from the knee for his birdie 2. He cans in his putt for a birdie 2 from the knee. Very well done, Simon. Very well done indeed. And what a way to bounce back from the bogey from last hole. Väinö takes a straddle putt for birdie from about 6 meters away the basket. And that'll help him climb up the leaderboard. Eagle taps in for par from about 4 meters. As does Samuel here on hole number 15. Next up, we're going to hole number 16. Hole number 16 is a 100-meter par 3, which is yet another hole that angles from left to right here at Ford Disc Golf Park. We're slowly following the players and the gallery to hole number 16 with 3 more holes to play. We're excited in anticipating on what's going to happen in these last 3 holes of the second round on moving day here at Tyyni 2019. Remember to check the scoring, the current situation from logging on to udisclive.com. The basket is on the right side of the fairway now. So Väinö throws an anhyzer line He clips one branch, but it doesn't slow the disc down. It's trailing towards the right very nicely. He is about 15 meters long and right of the basket. Up next is Simon Lizotte. Simon throws a similar line. He tries to dodge that one tree, but he does get a kick out of that, skipping to the right, and he's about 30 meters away from the basket, low right. Samuel with another Anheuser line. He dodges the tree that Simon just hit, but he hits the second next tree over there. Fortunately for him, though, he gets a rather favorable kick towards the basket. Eagle up next on the team, lining up a sidearm shot. That's a very nice looking sidearm. He skips just in front of the basket, trailing towards the right, but he should be just about at circle's edge. With the power in his sidearm, for him this seems to be like an ideal sidearm hole. However, the majority of the players choose to go Anheuser on this one because the slow turning light towards the right tends to favor the shape of this hole better in order to reach circle one from the tee. As I said, this is a 100-meter long right turning fairway. Where we are now approaching Simon's lie, where he is about 40 meters away from the pin. Looking to approach from this distance. Ooh, he almost puts it in from that distance. Very nicely done. He only has about 7 meters left for his comeback putt for a par 3. Samuel is up next from just outside circle 2. Oh, he hits the cage. He almost makes it. That was beautiful. Eagle and Väinö are looking for their discs. Eagle looks to be just inside the edge of circle 1, whereas Väinö is slightly further away, just outside of circle 1, long off the basket. Väinö is next to putt. And he drains it in. That was a beautifully executed birdie, especially the putt in the end. Very nicely done. Eagle up next from about 8 meters or so. Easy work for Eagle. Right at the pole. That's an easy birdie 2 for him. Simon from about 7 meters or so putts in for his par. And Samuel cleans up his par. Easy work. So 2 birdies, 2 pars here on hole 16. We have 2 more holes to play as we're walking to hole 17, which is another 130-meter par 3, where the players are throwing uphill. The basket is on the left side off that hill on top of a sand dune with a slight drop behind the basket. There is a hyzer line for the right-handed backhanded player, but there is a catch, and that catch is that some of the trees on the right side are grippy and they can take away your hyzer from the sky if you drag your shot too much to the right. There is still not much room to work with on this hole. Some, but not much, as we're yet again trying to navigate the gallery who are here to witness the action of our players here on lead card of round 2. It seems like the chase card is still approaching the green here on hole 17 at Ford Disc Golf Park. They're just underneath that sandy hill I was describing, climbing up it. It's about 105 meters or so to reach the bottom of that hill. You can either opt to go hyzer around that one guardian tree on the right side, on top of that gray rocky area, or you can take the tighter, straighter line down the gut here in order to reach the basket. However, it's the birch trees on that hill that tend to steal down some of the more better looking hyzer shots on this hole. Remember that you can check out the live scoring at udisclive.com all the time, including the play-by-play scores from not only our lead card, but also the chase card and all of the cards preceding these players battling it out here at Ford Disc Golf Park during the second round moving day of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64. We're waiting for the chase card to hole out on hole 17 and waiting for the gallery to be settled, and then we'll be ready again to watch the action here on hole 17. Mäkelä next up on the tee. Mäkelä throws that straighter hyzer shot. Unfortunately, he clips that limb high up of that guardian tree, gets a kick down, and is left in the valley just before the uphill towards the basket. McMahon is next up on the tee. Eagle powers one out there on a very nice looking line. He dodges those last trees. He is midway between that hill towards the basket with about 15 meters or so to go. Lizotte tries to follow suit, but his line is a little bit too much to the left, and he's pinched behind those low pine trees on the left side. Samuel is up next. He hits a tree and kicks very far left. That's a bad break for him. This is the second to last hole that we're playing, and it seems Eagle, with the best drive of the bunch, is in the best position for scoring his birdie. Mäkelä still has the opportunity, but he has a very long putt ahead of him, about 25 to 30 meters uphill. And then both Samuel and Simon are pinched on the left side of the fairway. And unless they can produce some serious magic I am thinking that they will be trying to go for par at best. Someone looks to be thinking about either a Sky Annie over all of these trees or maybe even a Thumber over all of these trees. He's discussing that option with his caddy. But chooses to be conservative and takes the sidearm roller around. Rolling in just down to the valley underneath the basket, right next to Väinä's lie, which means that he also will have about a 25-30 meter putt uphill to score his par here on hole 17. Simon Lizotte is investigating his lie. He's thinking about his options. There is a very dense grouping of trees between Simon and the basket. And he's also discussing options with his caddy, thinking of whether to go through or around. He's about 50 meters, maybe 55 meters away from the basket right now. So here, Simon is really thinking now. It seems like he's trying to do something spectacular. He is going sidearm, Sky Annie, trailing. Oh no, wow! There was so much power behind that shot. That was incredible. He is still 40 meters away from the basket with all of those burst trees between his lie and the basket. Mäkelä is up next. He is 35 away. The basket is on top of that sand dune on the left side, just behind those leaves. Väinä goes in with a hyzer shot, and he is pretty much parked with that shot, settling for a par 3 here on this hole. Samuel up next. He's 30 meters away, looking an uphill putt for his par 3. A little jumper on an anhyzer, trailing in nicely, but just not left enough. He is parked underneath the basket, but he will have to settle for a bogey 4. Simon is again assessing his options. Those birch trees in between Simon and the basket are not very big, but there are very many of them. So there's very little room to go through. Therefore, Simon opts to go over, and he throws a spike hyzer, but he goes a little bit long. He should be at Mount Circle's edge on the left side of the basket. Eagle takes his bag on top of that mound, checking out the surroundings. He is 15 meters away from the basket, looking at an uphill putt. Oh, he hits the low side of the cage. That was a good bid in any case. We're moving up the crest to approach the putting green and the basket. So Samuel taps in for his bogey 4. Simon puts in for his bogey 4 from about 7 meters away. Tyyni puts in for his par 3 from a similar distance. And Eagle has a tap in left for his par 3. We're moving now down to hole number 18, the final hole of our second round here during the moving day of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64. We're happy to have you follow this live coverage with us. We're sorry for some of the technical difficulties that we've had. And we're hoping that you are enjoying spending time with us here at Ford Disc Golf Park and at Tyyni, where the weather is significantly improved from yesterday and where we've seen some back and forth battle going on, not only with the lead card but also with other cards, with players making some very, very impressive moves. We're approaching the tee pad of the last hole, hole number 18. Hole number 18 is a 100-meter par 3, again going from left to right with an OB fence on the left, where the basket is guarded by young birch trees. The best way for these players to reach that tee is either with an anhyzer or with a sidearm shot. Again, the shape of the fairway tends to favor a slow turning turnover or an anhyzer.
If I get through.
And we are here now as the players are fist bumping and wishing each other the best of luck for the last hole of today. Go check out udislive.com to see the situation where, if I'm not completely mistaken, we already have a 4-way tie for first place. Mäkelä is first on the tee here on the last hole of the moving day. Mäkelä goes with a sidearm shot. It maintains the angle very well, skips towards the basket. It gets a vertical skip instead of a forward skip. That could have been a possible ace without that vertical skip, but he is still parked. Eagle McMahon up next. Powerful sidearm as well. It needs to dodge those trees. He does. He gets a skip, and he is also parked, or at least just inside the circle, a little bit long of the basket. He also goes with the sidearm. Dodging those trees you need to dodge. And oh! He skips from the pole of the basket going right and long, but he should still be inside the circle. Someone is the last on the tee. Oh, Samuel also goes a little short off the basket, skipping right, but all of these players should be in a position to attempt their birdie putts here on the last hole, hole 18 of the Ford Disc Golf Park for the second round moving day of Tyyni 2019. We're walking down the fairway of hole number 18, approaching that clump of trees that is guarding the basket here on the right side of the fairway. Ready to see where our players ended up with their tee shots. It seems like all of them are just about the edge of circle one. So Väinö is first to putt it from just outside circle one. He did go long with that skip. Väinö just misses on the right side, ending within about 8 meters off the basket on the short side. It seems Eagle is up next, taking a knee again. Those two trees are a little in his way. He's about 9 meters away. Swapping the flies away from his face. And cans in. That is directly in the middle of the basket. Very well executed putt for a birdie finish here on hole 18 for Eagle McMahon. Väinö puts in beautifully from 8 meters for his par 3 here on the last hole. Simon from about 6 meters or so behind that one birch tree. He skips off the cage. This will have him trailing Eagle by 1, provided that he puts in his last one. Samuel from the knee, from 6 meters away, gets a chain out a little on the left side of the chains, and the basket just refuses to take that disc in. Simon cans it in for a par from about 7 meters, but that was high. And he looks relieved that that one went in. Samuel also cleans up his par, and that is it. That was the final hole of the moving day, round 2, for our lead card and for the entire MPO field here at Ford Disc Golf Park. Now, looking at udisclive.com, you can go check out the final scoring of today, with Eagle McMahon still maintaining the lead with a score of 15 under par, scoring a -5 here at Ford today. There are 3 players tied for second place. Leo Piiren, who made some serious moves today with an 8 under round. He is trailing Eagle by 1 shot, together with Simon Lizotte and Eric Oakley, who both shot a -6 here at Ford today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this live coverage. It's been a pleasure to follow the action and to commentate the action for you. I'm hoping to see most of you guys back tomorrow. My name is Tuomas Suominen and I will see you guys tomorrow for the final round of both FPO and MPO lead cards to see who will finally be crowned the Tyyni champion in the open divisions. So thank you for today, bye bye and see you tomorrow.